Okay, everybody. Dr. Kevin Ashby here with Miss Yelena Yermolenko. Yelena, I want to thank you so much. Yelena is the designated PNBA Team Canada judge. When you go to the Natural Olympia, the panel of judges are have a group of individuals that represent pretty much each country. Now, yes, there are 70 countries that are competing at the Natural Olympia, so you will have some of the more prominent countries. And as far as our country is concerned, we are so excited and happy that Yelena has agreed to represent our country when she's on the panel. Yelena is she has a long scroll laundry list of accolades that I'm sure it would take me 2 hours to describe. She's an author, she's a coach, she is a fitness expert, she practices what she preaches. Every time we go to BC, we're so happy to see her in person. And now we are that much happier that she's representing our country when she's on the judging panel. So thank you for joining us, Yelena.
Thank you very much, Kevin. That was a very nice introduction. You're
Had to
always
do so.
making me blush.
That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do. So why don't I start with that first question? How's it feel actually coming back from judging the Natural Olympia for the very first time?
First of all, I don't even have it kind of properly registered in my head that I was doing this. Very unexpected invitation, but it felt like first of all, it's great that we had Canada representing on this judging panel, rightfully so. Also, a female representing on the judging panel. There was actually majority was guys. Now it's a little bit more of like even at the time. So I was on a ninth cloud. I was very grateful to have this opportunity. I was also very emotional just because I was there. And I'm very grateful that you guys invited me, like, and I was accepted on that panel.
Absolutely, absolutely. I was saying to Yelena prior to the starting of this interview that this industry is a very small community for sure. As large as it is, it's there's probably only 1 or 2 degrees of separation between all of us in this industry, and to recognize authenticity is a natural human trait. And what we've seen with Yelena over the years is somebody who's very authentic with what she does. She's very ethical with what she does, and she always is trying to make sure that the industry is being pushed forward. Again, from being an author, from being a coach, and being a solid representative of the fitness industry, it was easy for us to make that decision because she speaks her mind. She's going to be on a panel that is going to welcome, or she was on a panel that welcomes input from various perspectives. And if there's anybody who is able to speak their mind and willing to speak their mind, it's Yelena. So a true testament to who you are as an individual. And we feel very comfortable with the idea of you representing the country when you have over 70 countries on a stage. And it's easy for us as athletes to fall into the white noise, so to speak, right? And to afterwards have an interview such as this and to put the content out there online that describes the process. This stage is a humongous stage. We're going to get into the details of what that experience
Yeah.
was. It is a huge, huge stage, and it takes a strong person who has persevered through the trials and tribulations of the fitness industry to be able to represent our country. So that is one of the many reasons why we asked for Yelena to be on that panel, and the feedback we even got from the judges on the panel, and as well from the president and CEO of PNBA is that boy, did we ever knock it out of the park as far as who was chosen. So that is one of the main reasons why we chosen Yelena, and another reason why I'm trying to make her blush. So uh, now that you're blushing, I want to ask for you to let me know, like, what was your favorite moment from the entire weekend?
The favorite moment, it was actually seeing how the judges communicate amongst each other and how it is not only up to the head judge to get a placement done. Us being able to ask the head judge to switch number so and so with number so and so, he would bring those two people together or put them into the lineup so they can judge. So that seeing that was actually quite nice because it felt like everybody was actually looked at. When the lineup is huge and it takes from one side to another side, and every judge, when they look at the lineup, we see a very different perception of the person's physique. And when you are sitting in that line, farthest judge from where people coming out actually has much better view of the athletes than the people who sitting right across from the judge, because we only see the back side back of the person, right? But when everybody started to turn, we actually have different perception. And therefore it's very nice. It was very nice that all of us on the side of the panel, when I was sitting, were able to communicate with the head judge to switch people around. And that it means that every single person was actually properly looked at. And that was very nice to see. I would have to say that that was my favorite part of the whole thing.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, and it makes sense, right? You have so many athletes on stage. You obviously need a certain number of judges to see it from various angles, right?
Yeah.
And when I competed many years ago, I know that sometimes there's a disadvantage if you have one head judge calling all the shots and not really communicating with the others. Um,
Mhm.
that's really, really good. Being in attendance, Wendy and I, we noticed that as well, how there was great communication going on between all the judges at all times. And to have that caliber of athletes on stage, it's obviously required. You cannot have one person acting as a dictator, right?
Absolutely, absolutely right. And also me being a competitor, and my first and last name starts with Y, meaning I'm the last one to come out on stage. And very often I can see that the judges didn't even look at you because they already made up their mind with the first half of the line of competitors. Right. And so when we are switching people around like this, it gives everybody whose name, first and last name starts with A or with Y, actually being looked at as well. So that was main idea of the whole switching around. And the fact that we were able to communicate with the head judge
That's
on
amazing.
that was great.
Right
Mhm.
on. Okay, so with that caliber of athletes on stage, you're judging athletes from over 70 different countries. In your opinion, what made the Canadian athletes, how did they stand out on stage? It can be both good and bad. What did you notice as far as our country is concerned, in comparison to the others?
Well, what I was seeing so far, we were testing the waters. And that was how it felt. We were testing the waters. We didn't know what to expect, how the stage is gonna feel like, how many athletes would be there. Definitely, it was a very big competition. It was a very good quality competition, and I think our people, our team, didn't know what to expect yet. Now we know,
Mhm.
and it means now beware.
Yeah,
It means that now everybody going to come just a little bit more toned, more shredded, a little bit more artisticity in the routines, because now you can see what international stage look like and how much of everything is there. Your presentation need to be over the board is simply because it's a stage. It's not any more shy or because you're shy. You need to really present, right? Because the lights will steal a lot of movement. You will think inside of you that you're performing. And then when you look at the video, you actually was quite shy. So when you're presenting on stage, you do need to come out of your skin completely and present as if it's a theatrical movement, as if it's a theatrical presentation. And then with everybody who were on that stage come up with a pretty nice physique. And the percentage, like 1 or 2% on a body fat in many categories would make a big difference. So if you had a cookie throughout the prep, you know why you didn't place.
Mm.
It has
Mm.
to be 110% commitment, and then you'll be coming out of your skin, staying everybody with your mental state that like, yes, I am here to take this trophy.
Amazing.
So, and that's what we need to see on a Canadian team to present on this stage.
Amazing. So, okay, I think what we can do at this point then is look at the various categories. I know that on the PNBA stage, in comparison to MPA, they have quite a few more categories that people can be a part of. And stay tuned because we might actually introduce some of those to the MPA stage in 2026. But I love how you're describing everything in that regard, as far as stage presentation is concerned and as far as your physique is concerned. With NPA, we have the five criteria. You got your muscle mass, you have your definition, you have your symmetry, proportion, you have your stage presence, which again you alluded to being a very important component. You have to be a little bit more theatrical, if you will. Because I can imagine if I was on stage with my twin brother and I am a little too shy, the physique only gets you so far. You have to be able to
Yes,
pose and present that hard work that you have put into the prep over the number of months or even years, right?
of
So
course.
if we look at bikini, what would you say were some of the mistakes that, whether it's Team Canada or even athletes from other countries, what kind of mistakes, what kind of things the athletes need to focus on from your perspective when you were judging at the Natural Olympiad?
Okay, so we had a word amongst our people who were sitting right beside me. Some of the girls, not necessarily Canadian, right? Some of the girls in a lineup or guys would come out very soft or out of shape, right? Not conditioned well enough to actually represent the stage, so they just entered. And the word amongst us was like, they got the pro card. Why they are in this condition now? How is it that they are in this condition now? And not all the way like presenting properly, right? So, and basically, the saying was they took a pro card in their own country in a specific condition that allowed them to become a pro.
Mm,
They should be in that same condition on stage, right? Makes sense.
mm,
Now, saying that there are only top three routines, of top three competitors or top five competitors were representing the routine, the I walk, T walk. And basically, the only chance for you to be noticed when you step out on stage is when you actually step out on stage.
mm,
That's when we see the first person at the time, the first person, and right after second. We have like a second to determine.
mhm,
And what will make you apart is not that you look like everybody else or you look good. You really actually need to stand out.
mm,
Right at that specific moment, you will have 1 or 2 seconds to actually grab attention of the judge, meaning that you need to come out already all prepared and smile and in full presence of you wanting to have the trophy in that specific moment when you step out on stage. Once you start walking and you're losing the shape and you just coming out on stage to take your spot on stage, you lost it. You need to carry on that while you're getting and you're presenting right there when you're walking onto the stage, and then the presentation needs to be just so much more, because the eyes will go always to somebody who really representing the coming stepping on stage. So once you need to be ready when you're getting on those stairs, and you already need to be there,
mhm.
because it only takes 1 split second to place you,
Okay.
and that's when it's the most important is the presentation from the get-go, from the very like you need to be ready. You don't need to be just okay, I'm gonna step on stage, I'm gonna go to my place, and then I'm gonna pose, and it's like 20 competitors, we will not see you. And
Mm,
every judge in a bikini, specifically bikini category, will have their own perception how bikini should look like, right? Some like very slim, some like a little bit more muscle, some like a little bit more shredded, some like a little bit more butt. Some don't care about the butt as long as the triangle is preserved at the front, right? Some like really looking at the back and tie-ins of the glute. And every time you turn, we are looking at the paper to place it, and then you turn, and then we look up, and if the form is lost because you are somewhere in a transition, didn't actually see you, right? So you need to be present on stage like 110% with your breathing, with your stage presence, with the smile, and holding the position at all times, never relaxing, never dropping the glute, never dropping the positioning of the shoulders, right? And all at all times, and making eye contact with the judges. And not so much even the judges, you need to make eye contact with the head judge.
mm,
Specifically when you're standing the first or last, you need to aiming with your posture and your best physique right into the head judge, because he's calling the shots. We may or may not turn you, right? Depending like if he's right, we're doing okay. But if you are not, if you are at the end of the lineup and you're facing the audience, right, and we see you, we may or may not turn you because we agree what's happening in the middle. All right. So, but you need to grab attention of the head judge because he's calling the shots at the beginning.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, and that
Um,
makes sense. If anything, it sounds like you have these criteria, four of which have to do with just the physique, so to speak, and then you have the fifth one, the
mhm.
stage presence, that is going to reveal the other four. If you don't have that
Absolutely.
presence, then it can actually negate the judge's ability to evaluate the other four, or they will evaluate the other four criteria in a negative light because you are not
Yes.
presenting it the way you should be presenting it. So a great take home for sure for those that are out there trying to improve their placing from this current Natural Olympia into future ones, or those who are planning on going on the stage for the first time next year, right?
I
That's
wanna touch base on another something very important.
mhm,
It's a it's a will to win,
mhm,
right? It's a desire to win. And this is something that can actually help you to win, even if your physique is a little bit off, even if your presentation is a little bit off. Because at this point, when you're stepping on stage, everything is just mental. The way you carry yourself and energy is actually shown. And you know that you didn't do that well if you didn't do 100% during the prep. And then therefore, you're going to come out on stage with that specific energy, right? And those who absolutely wanted to win will win. And we had this when we are, as a judges, we were judging, and there is a physique of another competitor were like way more superior, but another competitor took the first place. And it's like, what the heck? Well, and we talked among each other, right? And basically, because that somebody have never relaxed on stage
mm,
and have shown that I am freaking deserving that first place, and that first place is mine, right? And that was shown, and you can see it. And somebody who come out and thinking like, yeah, I got it, like I got it, and
mm,
like, and
yeah.
now they didn't. You didn't get it until you get it.
So would you say that if you're an athlete that's on the wings, because I know that everybody came out and then they would separate
Hmm.
the athletes, group of athletes would go on one wing, another group of athletes would go on another wing, and then out comes if whether it's the top five or not the top five, when they're starting to pluck athletes from the wings to be brought back into the front, are you saying that the judges, they're evaluating you regardless of where you are standing on that stage, whether you're on the front line?
Absolutely.
Okay, so always be
Especially if you're not agreeing with the call out, right? That's when we are calling, okay, we need to bring this one into the lineup of the top five, right? Or we need to bring that one. Yeah. When you're saying staying at the back, you need to pause. You need to pause. You need to drill the judges with your eyes. You need to make your presence so strong and big that we will bring you in, right? And if you like, because you saw it happening, right? We would bring the other people into the front, and the head judge would actually put them side by side with these two competitors. It means that some of the judges were asking, can you please put this and this together so we can actually evaluate better? And sometimes we were, okay, yeah, I see why you didn't pick it, or they will switch some.
mm,
Yeah, yeah,
makes sense. Okay, that's huge. That is huge.
very important, very
Would you say
important.
that's one of the main mistakes that a lot of people were making, that they just basically weren't staying on the entire time?
Yes,
Okay, regardless of
yes.
category.
Yeah, because the girls with the best physiques, not all of them came top five. There were girls that are really deserving to be placed, but they didn't place simply because they wasn't showing.
Ah.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, let's say stage presence aside, I know that we were receiving um, some messages about what would be a stereotypical bikini physique compared to wellness and compared to figure type of thing. There was a concern of, well, this one athlete showed up very detailed in the definition department, right?
Hmm.
Um, and then another athlete showed up, they didn't have as much definition, quote unquote definition, but they
Hmm.
had more quadriceps. What
Hmm.
would you say from your perspective would differentiate a bikini athlete's prototypical physique compared to a wellness athlete's?
Hmm. So proportions, balance, and symmetry, right? And we are looking for wide shoulders, triangular, very thin waistline, and the stance of the legs shoulder width apart,
Mhm.
right? So that one. And we also looking that on the side as well. When your back is opening up, you are the same triangle with knees are coming out, forming that triangle as well. So when you're standing, so we're looking for those proportions. Now, uh, if the quads are a little bit more built, then the shoulder cups, right? Then it's more wellness. If you are exhibiting a lot of definition in your quads, then you may be even more of the physique or figure competitor,
Mm.
right? If you are way too shredded, that you show definition on all of the muscles, not just showing the cup, right, and some form on the quads, then you are more into the physique or figure competitor.
Mm.
So overtrained quads, when they're a little bit bigger than the upper body, that's when it takes you into the wellness, when they're not showing as much of the definition. And one of our competitors, I think she came fourth, right, in a bikini,
Mhm.
right? So she was actually the perfect example. She was great for the wellness, but her quads kind of kick her out of the top three placement because she was more on the wellness side than on the bikini side. Her quads needed to be just a little bit more calm, I would say.
And is that something through posing that a hybrid athlete would be able to take care of with proper posing coaching?
When you move around and you're going from the transition to transition, we
Mhm.
see it.
You see it regardless.
We see it, yeah. And the front pose that they are asking us to do, the front pose, that's exactly what it's actually shown.
Mm, okay.
Right, so when they are like open, like they're standing with the legs just shoulder width apart, and then just this position when you're straight forward, that's
Mhm.
when you can actually see the quads quite well, because everybody trying to flex, right? So don't flex, do not need
Okay.
to flex, just stand calm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
What?
so that her was a perfect example of where she would be. She plays better in wellness anyway, right? So,
Mhm.
and not as well in bikini. So because of that.
The bikini pose, when they're posing from the back, there was a question about flaring the lats versus squeezing the shoulder blades a little bit together, as if you were doing like a row. Which is preferred for, as far as the rear pose is concerned for bikini and wellness compared?
So I would say not to squeeze, because when you squeeze, you're actually making yourself look like a board.
Hmm.
We want to see the V taper,
Hmm.
but you do not have to flare it
Okay.
also, right? So
So
if you just like calmly lift it up, you're
yeah.
going to have very normal. We do not need to see your lats spread, right? But if you're squeezing it, then you're completely losing the V taper.
Hmm.
What we also look in the back pose is actually muscle development. I did like when they bring the hands up, it's actually
Yeah.
showed the back quite well, right?
Yeah. I like that pose.
And yes, and when they cross the legs, you could actually see the adductors, right? You can see adductors quite
Hmm.
well, that definition in there. But in a regular position, when the feet are shoulder widths apart, you can see the tie-ins for the hamstrings.
Hmm.
On those who you can see it, those who are placing. Those who you cannot see it, then you do not have it. But then the further placement from from the first, second, and third places was okay. So she has a back, very nice back, but she has no hamstrings or no glute,
Hmm.
right? And then another girl will have great glutes but no back. How do you place them, right? So, and that is now preference of the judges to score them.
Okay. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Now, would there be more of a lat flare with something like wellness versus figure?
Figure needs to flare.
Flare.
Wellness needs to, yeah, yeah. Wellness would probably be just showcasing the quads and showing that there is a development on the upper body. Uh, Wellness do not need to flare anything. It's
Mhm.
just basically a bikini with overtrained quads. And how this category came about is when the women are overweight and they started to lose weight, they actually exhibit a lot of quads because that's how the quads got trained in the first place. And then the girls who are doing a lot of powerlifting, those girls will show quite a bit of quads. So that's how this category came about, right? Because they do not fit into the bikini category.
Mhm.
So if somebody, let's say we go, I'm going to go back to this competitor who placed fourth in a bikini. If she would decided to, if she likes bikini category better, but she has bigger quads, then she would need to go into more endurance way of training her quads, not strength,
Mhm.
right? So she calmed them down a little bit. Don't train them as much, train the upper body. But then again, she is at the borderline. If she's gonna do that, now she is actually training herself into the physique or figure, right? So regardless of what it is, you are going to grow and you're going to accumulate more muscle as you grow,
Mhm.
right? And you do not want to stop training just because to
No,
fit in a category that you like or dislike. Yeah, she may like better category, better. She may like the other category better,
absolutely, absolutely.
right? So when you have more muscle, and if you train for 3 more years, like then maybe the beginner, go ahead and go for other category. You're gonna do so much better.
Yeah, and it's good for the coaches too. There are, we saw some athletes on stage that, but at first glance, especially if you are a family member that may not necessarily understand the details of what the judges are looking for, you say, you know what, this individual is a winner. You look at them on stage and they're incredibly defined. They have great muscle mass. I don't care what category they're in, they're the winner, right? And then the judges, having the expertise that you have, you know what position or what place or what category I'm trying to say that athlete should be designated for. So when that athlete does not win in that particular category, it's very easy to feel dejected because
Yeah,
you, as an athlete or even as a coach, thought, or as a family member, thought this was their category. But on the international stage, it could be a completely different story altogether. These judges have great expertise in saying, actually, based on all the hard work that you place into your training and your nutrition and your competition prep, you would be better suited for this category. I wish and I pray they actually choose that category because it's great for you as an athlete and it's also great for the coaches. Maybe the coach thought they were 100% a bikini coach, but no, they are becoming a wellness oriented or even a figure oriented coach. So
yeah.
it's really a compliment to those athletes when they get that kind of feedback. And if they are looking for feedback, you always can contact PNBA to receive that kind of feedback. When you receive the feedback and you're being told you may not be, ideal for this one particular category, but you're great for another, just use that as growth mindset, right? Use that as a growth mindset to open up that opportunity for yourself to compete in a different category.
Absolutely, and our local shows are a very good way to determine whether you're best at bikini or maybe physique or figure, right? And go into both categories and try to compete and see where you're gonna place better and acquire feedback from judges or the competitors or maybe other people, right? But if you do not listen and if you get stuck on your own category, you may be losing out, right? And I remember competing at Canadian Nationals for CPA. I placed second, not first. And simply because amount of muscle on me was a little bit too much than amount of girl muscle on a girl who actually looked like a bikini. And
Mm,
then in the same year, when I went and competed at WBFF, and Alison told me, "Oh, if you're doing a crossover with your arms, go do fitness category. For them, it's fitness, right? Ours figure." And sure enough, and I competed and I took my pro card and I placed fourth in a bikini category,
wow.
right? So the amount of muscle determines where you need to be placed and not where you want to be placed. If you
Yeah,
have trained for 5 years, so you most likely have more amount of muscle on you than a bikini girl who trained for the first couple of years. So, and it's upgrade. It's a good thing. Just to learn new poses. That's it. It's time to upgrade. Enjoy.
absolutely. Absolutely. I like that. Where you need to be placed versus where you want to be placed. I like how you said that. That's amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
so moving on to the men's categories, we have there was sport model, there was men's physique, right? There's obviously bodybuilding, there's class and physique.
Mhm.
Give me a brief rundown on those categories and where the men need to be placed, where they wanted to be placed, what kind of mistakes you saw with those various categories.
Seeing the beach model or beach athlete model, it's a
Athletic
new
physique,
category.
yeah, it's a new one, athletic
It's a
physique
new
they
one.
have
We
down
should
there.
bring that in Canada.
Yeah.
This is great for somebody, it's a beginner basically, right? It's somebody who have started training, who may have did some other sports in the past and decided now dedicate his training to bodybuilding. And they entering into the sport with genetically good disposition. And or maybe not, right? Maybe not, maybe they're fixing the posture or they're doing something with it, right? But they are just very beginners. This is the category that you want to see on a beach. This is not a category, nobody shredded is going on the beach. It's unsustainable, right? This is the sustainable look of the people who would you see on the beach and going in and out of the swimming pool, and they just look nice, like normal person, just slimmer than majority of the people that we see now at the beach, right? So, and then comparing to the physique, this category comparing to the physique is somebody who actually dedicated his training for maybe a couple more years now, and they are more opened up. They are a little bit more trained. You can see that the maturity of the muscle is a little bit more solid.
Mhm.
And I've seen guys doing both, right? Going from the beach body to the physique category. Flexing probably be a difference in there. If you're going just on a beach body, then you are just don't flex. You just like normal. You just open up a little bit, so you look like nice.
Mhm.
With physique, you flex a little bit more. You need to open up a little bit more things, and they ask for a different poses as well. They almost like a bodybuilding posing,
Mhm.
right? So that's where you actually need to know your stuff. You need
Mhm.
to know how to properly flex, and that will be the biggest difference. So a little bit less shredded, little bit more shredded.
Mhm.
Uh, the look that you would want to have on a beach versus you leaned out a little bit more.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I see.
and then we have classic physique. That is, of course, classic physique and then a bodybuilding. Classic physique is something in between of these two categories. When again, you let's say the first category you trained first year, second category you trained 2 to 3 years, classic
Mhm.
physique 3 to 4 years, right? And the bodybuilder is like more than like 5 years of training. Because if you are continuously training, you are going to be accumulating that muscle, and an amount of shredness should go practically not shredded, just a very nice looking physique, little bit more shredded, little bit shredded even more, and a more shredded will be for the bodybuilding.
Amazing. Now, where would you say sports model fits in there? Because you got they call it athletic physique. That's what it was.
Yeah,
Athletic
yeah.
physique. Then they have
Sports.
men's physique. Where's sports model between, I
It's
guess, like
very is the sports model was so the placement was given those who look like a beach body but very shredded,
hmm
very shredded,
hmm
right? Because when you are in the magazines, when they take a picture of the magazine, right, sports model is an important component of it, meaning that you really need to look nice. You need to be shredded. You need to have good disposition. You need to have good hair. You need to be somebody from the magazine, from the front cover of the magazine.
Okay.
And
So
the
that's
Italian guy who took the first place, he did quite well with that look, everything, the overall look, the way that he presented itself, right? So it was modeling versus just bodybuilding presentation. And
okay.
that's where the difference comes in, right? So meaning that the presentation itself is working more like a model for the magazine,
Mm,
right? And presenting yourself not like a bodybuilder, but like a model to fit on a magazine front cover.
okay.
Need to
That
be
makes,
pretty.
yeah. Okay. Fair
Need
enough.
to be pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Head to toe, head to toe.
Yeah.
Some mistakes that you saw, would you say the mistakes with the men is pretty much what you saw with the women, where you're not on from the moment you step on stage, and then it affected all those other criteria that were designated for whatever category you're in? Would you say that was the case?
Yes. So very often what you see is they pose for the mandatory poses and then they relax, turn around, pause again, then relax, turn around, and you pause again. When you relax, the definition is gone. Like you see nothing, you see no quads, you see no nothing. Right. So I would say you would have to be in on all the time. You cannot relax. If you relax, that's it. Like, okay, there is nothing in there. We looked at you just one split second, you get relaxed. We do not see definition, you mark down.
Mm,
All right. Oh, and
okay.
one more thing I wanted to say, how we have our scoring sheet will have a scoring for each category, like five, right? We have five criteria. In there, we have your number and we have your placing. We don't know your name. We do not know your country. There is no criteria that we're breaking it down. No great stage presence will give you five. Definition will give you two. Whatever we give you one. None of it. We just place them. We just place them. So there is, because local shows done all of this criteria, and we expect those people to already come out. So we just placing you.
And you know,
Yeah.
again, it has to do with the expertise of the judges. These are a group of judges. I'm kind of speaking for everybody on the panel. These judges have been in the industry for a number of years that very likely exceeds what you would see at the local shows. So they
Hmm.
are in the position to have those rankings placed beside the competitor numbers, right? Because
Yeah.
thousands upon thousands of athletes that they've seen cross the stage that they may have even trained over the years, trained themselves, whatever it is. We're talking about a group of highly educated and long laundry list of credentials behind these judges' names. So they have that ability to do so, right? So be on.
Hmm. Hmm.
The judges are already
Yeah.
on. So as athletes, you need to be on from the minute your toe crosses the beginning of that stage to the millisecond that you are stepping off, right? So
Absolutely. As it says, it's a pinnacle, right? So it's a pinnacle, meaning it's a very, very top. All of the judging for your definition, for your balance, for your muscle mass, for stage presence, all of that is done. And this is now the best of the best. The only thing that we need to do, we just need to place you one, two, three, four, five, whatever else, right? So the judges are not given opportunity to, uh, like if you will ask, okay, how is my balance? How is my definition? We had a lady doing the reviews. She was also a judge, so like and she was trying to judge and also give a review to those who paid for the reviews. Right, so her attention was split in between all of that, so she not always was able to. Whenever she was like too overwhelmed, she would give me the scoring sheets when I was like in between, right? So and meaning that you do not really like she was doing her best. It's not that all judges were doing giving you a feedback. It's only that one person dedicated to actually give you a feedback. She's probably one of the most experienced person in a panel. I actually have no idea, but probably is if she was given the task. And basically that is like a one person objective, and then everything else you're going to see on your pictures and videos.
mhm,
Now we are no longer the judges no longer will have an opportunity to give you a feedback whether or not you're proportionate or balanced. They're only judging you, this person comparing to this person, first place, second place, third place, fourth place.
mhm.
And so it I was erasing, the person will turn. I'm like, oh no, this is better. Yeah, this is better than, and I'm keep erasing it, and then you need to place everybody else. It was a super cool process because I am going by our criteria. Had better definition, has better back, no tie-ins, yes tie-ins. Oh, presentation is great, and I'm like keep switching things, right? So my sheet was like erased, placed, erased, placed. So it's a process, but at the end of the day, we just giving a placement, and then the scorekeeper will just place the average of score. Yeah,
Amazing,
yeah.
amazing. Yeah, I think I saw steam coming from the ears of some of the judges. So, and you're all able to keep it together the whole time. So
If
that's really
somebody will come out to me and say like, "Can you tell me like how I placed?" I won't be able to tell you simply because it's so many people. It's only a number, right? Not even name of the person. They only
yeah.
call by the number. Yeah, and one cool piece of advice to competitors: when you have a big team of people cheering for you, ask them to scream your number, not your
Oh,
name.
oh.
Number 55, and everybody, all judges will look at 55.
That's cool. That's
Number 75, because we don't know your name. All right, we don't know your name. Just scream the number, and that gets attention of the judge. If you have a big score, like a scream team, then like for sure, just make sure that they know your number.
that's really
Yeah,
smart.
go Jessica.
Makes
I'm like, who's Jessica?
sense.
Right?
Competitor number Jessica. Who? Oh, whatever. Okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, so you know what? Seeing that you reside in BC, I want to kind of shift the focus to your province that you know and love and reside in. In my opinion, BC, no offense to any other provinces, great athletes from other provinces as well, but there's an incredible group of natural athletes in BC. So, do you have a message for any of the BC competitors who dream on being the international stage like the Natural Olympia?
Well, the fact that you guys now, they are only Canadian representatives who under the PNBA affiliation. I think you need to be in more cities as well. But speaking to BC, I think that is going to bring a lot of attention right now from the natural competitors who have competed in other federations. And I think that is going to increase amount of people because this was a very big deal. Natural Olympia was a very big deal. And even at the gym where I am training my clients at right now, they people were coming out to me and saying like, we want to do this. I'm like, perfect. So I think we're gonna double the team. We do have a big amount of natural competitors in here. Even the CPA shows showing it that there are a lot of natural competitors. It is very difficult to go up the ladder in CPA and to get your pro card specifically. I really like that you guys give pro cards to masters as well. It's very difficult to get pro card and CPA for masters. Anybody who is like over 45 years old,
Hmm.
there is only like very limited amount of shows, and therefore you're very limited to where that you're gonna be competing.
Hmm.
And I think that rewarding the athletes who are over 40 or over 50 years old is very important because they are the ones who are leading the way, and they are the ones who've been in the business for longest times, right? So, and sometimes when you have the younger competitor who won and placed and never showed up at the competitions, even though they had the pro card, right? So it's kind of like, I would rather to give it to somebody who can take it all the way because they have been taking it all the way for last 10 years. Yeah, so I am looking forward to see more competitors at your shows at CPA when it coming. Oh, sorry, at NPAA when it comes to in May. I think we're probably gonna need to do another show in the fall, but we'll see.
Yeah, there's we're seeing that growing demand as well. The amount of messages we've been receiving from athletes from various federations. Obviously, NPA being the exclusive affiliate to the PNBA and Natural Olympia, this would be the direction that a natural athlete would have to go in order to
Hmm.
compete on the Natural Olympia stage. Highly recommend anybody who's watching to contact you, Yelena, directly if they have any extra questions about, the experience that we all had collectively at the Natural Olympia about, the judging process and whatnot. You can, of course, send emails to us at info@npa.ca, and we'll be, very transparent and very informative because that was a tremendous stage. I mean, to have that many countries, the gold medal winners having the national anthem played, uh,
That was
that's
awesome.
that's so awesome. That is so awesome, man. I mean, the Olympia, it's the Olympics of bodybuilding, right? So
Yeah,
to
yeah.
have that, there's a tremendous amount of pride, right? So by all means, yeah, contact Yelita, send us an email at info@npa.ca, and we'll be very happy to provide as many answers as possible. I'm going to say right now, Yelena is the exclusive Team Canada judge. So I get it. You're going to have various coaches that will give their 2 cents on what they think the process is, but you're really not going to get an official response unless you talk to those who are the designated officials, of which, Yelena is the Team Canada judge, Wendy and myself being the presidents of MPAA, send an email to us. That would be the best way to get the most specific answer that is fully representative of what's going on. So, yeah, so make sure you do that. And we are going to be coming to BC in May of 2026. I believe it's the 3rd.
Mhm.
So just go to mpa.ca and you'll see what the show dates are. We have some exciting news to share about that show, but
Mm. The new category is coming, right?
maybe, maybe we'll see. Okay, so
Okay, okay.
stay tuned to that for sure. And
Are you
yeah,
planning to come into different cities of Canada? Where are you at right now? Like, what cities do you have?
currently, we are in so there's Richmond in BC, there's Calgary in Alberta, there's Ottawa in Ontario. There's more opportunities to come, which I am very excited about sharing in the very, very near future. But those are our flagship places for sure. And
Hmm.
we are receiving messages from various promoters that would like to bear the flag for NPA and make sure that they can continue to provide those opportunities in those regions. And yeah, we're really excited about actually the connections that were made. I'm sure you can attest to this with the international folks, right? Those who are in
Hmm.
various
Hmm.
countries. We have some great people in the United States that the royal family, shout out to the royal family if they're watching. There's a great group of athletes down in the United States that were excited about supporting our shows. We have Christian Schneider from Germany who's excited about supporting our shows as well. So don't think that because you're on the local stage, you will not be standing beside some of those who have competed internationally as well. So NPA is known for having a very competitive stage, and it's only going to get more competitive, which is great because you want to make sure the cream rises to the top. You want to make sure that you are as competitive as possible when it's time to represent the company if you manage to get to that level. So yeah, it's really, really good.
I want to touch a little bit on testing. And
Please do.
the way that they did it was actually quite neat. So they had a thing called target testing,
Mhm.
meaning that if the judge sees something that they suspect that was happening, we will send a note saying test number so and so, goes to the head judge issued the red card, and the person would be giving the red card for testing. And we did it for with quite a few athletes. It's not necessarily mean that it is because you do take it, but because you exhibited too much of the muscle that is suspicious to us, not because you did it, and or you are too lean, and because there is a specific way of seeing things, right? And on the guys too, so is on the girls. And then those people would be sending for testing. However, we are not allowed, not so much allowed, we are not taking the scoring off just because we suspect you doing something. We have to still place you. And if the test will come, if the test comes positive for whatever anabolic substances have been taken, then of course you are losing your placement and you placed onto the Hall of Shame at Natural Olympia, naturalolympia.com, right? So naturalbodybuilding.com, that's what they are doing. So prepare to be tested. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have done something, right? But it could be just simply a compliment of your work because you look so great. Now, I also want to touch base on something that's important to understand. If you are male and you have been overweight quite a bit in your childhood or in your adolescence or up until this, you decided to change your lifestyle, you most likely have developed gynecomastia,
Hmm.
meaning that if you do shred it, you're going to show it, meaning that you're most likely going to get tested for it, right? But those who understand how the gynecomastia can develop will understand that. But I would suggest that if you did come out with a very big fat loss story, go into the category of transformation and show
Mm.
it, because that is very inspirational to a lot of people. Because seeing people shredded on stage, a lot of people will say, "I will never gonna be like that." But when they in transformation stories are shown, and now you're standing there in all your glory in absolutely incredible shape, those who can see the gynecomastia side effect on you because of that overweight position will now understand what's going on, because we know, right? But to some will say like, "Oh, he had gyno and like he placed first, like what the heck," right? So it means those people simply uneducated. What they also do, the PNBA, once you became a PNBA pro, you actually may be subjected to off-season testing. And off-season testing is done by blood, by the urine, and by hair sample. And if they catch you, you go on a Hall of Shame. And I really like that idea. So as a federation, you test the first placers, right? And it's already qualified them to become a PNBA. But if some all of a sudden somebody decided to be a little bit tricky on off season, just make sure that just know that you are maybe tested as well. So it's not that you're going to be off season, you're going to be taking some stuff to grow, and then you may actually get tested. Maybe not this year, but if you are on a radar, they're going to test you off season.
Absolutely. Yeah, the amount of testing that they did, I believe that Diana said that they were spending the entire afternoon the following day with the amount of tests that they were completing, which is great. I mean, the level of testing as well, I want to make sure people know that it is WADA level testing. which is the gold standard of testing that you would see with the IOC, with the Olympics. So
Yeah.
that is even a different conversation in and of itself. It's something that we're going to continue to touch upon um, because you can't beat the gold standard. I know that there's other forms of testing that are out there, and without really getting into it too much, some of those levels are really more so just a scare tactic that would not be allowed or accepted in a court of law. But when we're dealing with water level testing in the IOC, that is something that would be actually considered, right? So kudos
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
kudos to Denny and Diana for the great platform that they built. We've felt so welcomed and so excited about being a part of the INBA global family and the opportunities that it has provided the athletes. At the end of the Natural Olympia, they actually had an autograph signing for all the pros that had won as well. And Wendy has been saying this for years that natural athletes should be celebrated just as much as the non-tested athletes. And to see the fandom, if you want to call it that, the amount of people that were huge fans of these athletes that won their pro cards. It's not won the pro cards, sorry, won the gold medal, won the silver, or won the bronze. And to see them all walking around getting autographs from all the athletes and whatnot, what a great sight to see that natural athletes have this platform and they're really fully being celebrated and marketed, and it's translating into the natural side of the industry, really prospering from it. So we're so thankful that the INBA global family accepted us, and we feel really excited about bringing a bigger team next year.
Yes, yes, and I think it's gonna be more people too. Yeah, it's I can feel that we're probably gonna bring maybe like 50. I think we're gonna double. I have a feeling that it's gonna be way more.
I tell you again, the BC contingent, the Ottawa contingent, the Alberta contingent, Saskatchewan, Maritimes, we're receiving a lot of messages from athletes from across the country, a lot of coaches, even potential extra promoters. This is a great explosion that we were imagining last year when we were,
Hmm. Hmm.
and to see it actually transpiring now, what a great sight to see. And again, what a great representative you have been for us, Yelena, in going down there and making sure that the athletes have that representation. The conversation we had with the CEO of PNBA, with Denny and with Diana, they said it's great to have a particular country have a representative that is very knowledgeable, great experience in the industry. It's also, there's a level of comfort that the athletes from that particular country automatically have when they see a familiar face on the judging panel too, right? So anything we can do to make sure the athlete experience is second to none, whether it's during the show or post show, it's being done. And I am so, so thankful that you are part of the team. So um,
Thank you. Thank you.
over the course of the year, I will very likely be conducting more of these interviews with you, Yelena. There's a ton of more questions that I'd love to ask, but I know that what we should do is just make sure each segment is representative of it. I wanted to make sure that we presented you as our ambassador to the judging panel, to the international judging panel. Again, if anybody has any questions whatsoever for Yelena, by all means, send an email to info@npa.ca. And what we'll do is we'll forward it to Yelena, and she'd be more than happy to answer all your questions in that regard. If you're in BC and you want to get started on that process of reaching the National Olympia stage, you know how to reach her. The name of the gym is Alpha Fitness, right?
Alpha Club Fitness, that's my business. I
Okay.
am working out of Evolve Strengths in Brentwood, so it's very centrally located. It's very easy to get to that location. Great gym, very very good gym. Yeah, they have two
Amazing.
locations, one downtown, one in Burnaby. And yeah, if you become a member in there, you can basically travel everywhere you want. I do train one-on-one, I do train couples, and I have online platform as well. So regardless of whichever way you want to do it, I train to win. My clients train to win. You've seen my athletes too, right? So like everybody great, but there is so many ways of reach a specific point. And I know that those who were training with me so far was having great results. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's we are a close, tight-knit community, and we are so excited to see all the athletes have all the opportunities to work with great coaches, have great tips from judges, making sure the athlete experience locally and now internationally are amazing and that there is a promising future as long as you maintain that growth mindset of making sure you go into the category that you need, not necessarily the category that you want. I'm stealing that from you, Lena. That's amazing.
Okay, okay.
Uh, Thank you, Lena. This has been great. There's going to be more interviews for sure in the future. And again, we're very appreciative of all that you're doing for the industry and what you're doing for Team Canada.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I love you guys. And we're gonna have 50 competitors next year on the Natural Olympia.
There you go. Setting the goal. We're going to make it
That's
happen.
it from the beginning. Yes.
Wonderful. Thanks again.
Thank you. Bye bye.